Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Joe. Welcome back to another episode of the Inside Our Phillies podcast. Back at it again. Phillies have played 6 games since we last talked. They most recently won 2 out of 3 against the New York Mets this weekend. We don't need to talk too much about the series that happened before then, but still have a couple of discussion points. But to get to it all, we've got Jeremy, SJ Phillies fan. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. We are so back.
Are we back?
Yeah, fuck the Mets. It's always nice. We're si-
Okay.
we're 6.5 back of the Braves. A month ago we were 10.5 back.
The Braves have it feels like they were going so well for so long, and then the Braves kind of just fell off of a cliff. Like it feels like it was just very
They were
quick.
on. I mean, they were just playing at an attainable rate. They're going to hit a slow part. Everyone hits a slow.
Yeah, and injuries have kind of caught up to them in a lot of ways, right? Strider is out. They've had big injuries to their position players. Acuna, nagging injuries. Austin Riley has had a bad year. The Braves definitely were overperforming for a long time, and I don't know. At least personally, I'm ready to say that the division is not done. Are the Phillies favorites in the division? No, but they got a shot.
Yeah, basically, if the Phillies can win the next series against the Braves, I will have more faith in the division. But if they lose the series, it's not.
Yeah. So let's get into it. I think let's start by kind of discussing what people are going to be most interested in, which is this Mets series. Obviously, kind of the thing that sticks out the most is that second game where Bryce Harper hit for the cycle. Kyle Schwarber hit 3 home runs in a game, including 2 in 1 inning. And uh, why can't the offense be like that every day, man?
Because they hate us. But that was a great game. And did you read article on Matt Harper's bat?
Crazy. So why don't you tell everybody?
Yeah, so as everyone who has eyes has known, Harper before the Met series was like 1 for 20 something. It was pretty bad. And when he was been doing batting practice in the stadium instead of going out, and he was just tired of it. He wanted to try something new, so he did batting practice outside, was mashing the ball, and then he decided just to take that batting practice bat, which is a little bit heavier, like what, 10 grams, 5 grams heavier, and then used that in the game, and then he just went off, and then he used it for the past 2 games.
Yeah, so I can give a little bit more context to this as like a former baseball player.
Hey,
Because
I played until 8 years old. I am a former player.
hey, fair. This is true. But no, to give context, your typical MLB bat is going to be a drop three. A drop three essentially means that the inches of the length of the bat in inches. So say it's like a 35-inch bat. Your weight can't be any less than 3 ounces less. So you'd have like a 35-inch, 32-ounce bat, drop three. That is pretty standard. And it's pretty widely accepted. In fact, you can't have anything more than a drop three. Even going to like high school baseball, you can't have like a drop five or a drop seven or something crazy like that. I one day I was a pitcher, but like one day just to like fuck around in batting practice, I used a drop five, and there were like a bunch of comments about how like my hands were looking really quick and maybe they needed to rethink me actually being a position player. And I then said I was using a drop five, and we all laughed about it. But Bryce Harper was not using a drop three. He was not using a drop two. He was not using a drop one. He was not even using a drop zero. He was using a +1 bat that weighs more than it is long, which I have never even heard of. I didn't know that was a thing. And I can't comprehend how strong you have to be to swing that bat that hard. Like, is Bryce Harper human? Is genuinely the question that I'm having right now.
Yeah, it's fair, but also, I mean, it kind of makes sense if his timing was if he was just like too much in front of things, a heavier bat slowed him down just enough, right?
I didn't think about it that way, but that's like a really good point. And the other thing you'd think, right, is like, you're creating more force by swinging with a heavier bat. So, the sound that he made on some of those balls was unbelievable. Um, and maybe that has some of it too.
Well, so the other example I have of this I remember is I can't remember what year, but Rollins' power started picking up when he started using Ryan Howard's bat. So the big, lot
Yeah.
bigger, and he just let the barrel hit the ball, and it went farther. So kind of the same, but different. So I understood why it worked because of that. But my other thing is, Ruben talked about this in the Phillies show, and I fully agree with him. Why are these guys struggling and not doing batting practice outside where they could see the ball in the stadium how they're going to see it? Why are they doing it in the in the stadium? It makes no sense.
It is weird, right? Like I feel like it's been like a trend over the last little bit that, more and more we've had fewer and fewer teams take batting practice on the field. And yeah, I mean that just
Honestly,
doesn't intuitively make sense.
I feel it should be mandated for the fan experience.
Yeah, I mean for night games without weather impact, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, it makes no sense why MLB is allowed this. Just because, like, obviously, you don't have to. Everyone has to be outside. You could do some, but there should be some mandated outside for fans. Like as a kid, I used to love going and watch batting practice. Now you get there early and you're just waiting around. It's just
Yeah,
dumb, and it's a very simple thing that will help the fan. It's entertainment. They're there for us. So,
right.
and it also makes sense why like you're struggling. You're not hitting the ball like you would in a game. So doing all this time in the cage, not in the ballpark, like okay, you're working on mechanics, but you're not seeing how the ball comes from the pitcher's mound, the batting
Yeah.
eye. Like this is the thing where I think like super, supermetrics has gone analytics has gone too far.
One thing that I guess I can add to this was like the experience that I had in Lehigh Valley last year because I had to get there super early for the game. It was like a night game somewhere around like a 7 o'clock start. I think I had to be there at like 3 p.m., 2 p.m., like 1 p.m. maybe even. It was like very, very early that I had to be there. But the players were like already on the field practicing that long before the game. Like, I don't think like I think some people have like the perception that players show up at 5 p.m. for a 7 p.m. game, and that's just not how it is. Um, which is pretty crazy. It's really like more like than a full time job. But obviously sports are different. But for most of the time, they're out there on the field. They're working, some hitting. But it was just a lot of drills that they were doing overall. And from the fan experience part of it, honestly, that might have been like the coolest part of everything that I got to do in Lehigh Valley last summer. Being like one of like only I think like three people in the ballpark that didn't work for the team was crazy. Like I was able to walk around on like my own free will and do whatever I wanted on the field, like in the stands, concourse. It was crazy. It was like the best fan experience that you could imagine.
John, I'm definitely jealous of that.
But yeah, sorry for going on that tangent there.
Nah,
Um,
no, that's fun.
but yeah, Bryce Harper might genuinely be a cyborg. That is my takeaway. Um, my second takeaway from this is that Kyle Schwarber is truly back. I know that like he had not a typical Kyle Schwarber June, but like the mammoth home runs that he had, both in the game on Saturday as well as the big one yesterday that really blew it open against the lefty. Good to see. Turns out the offense is good when their two biggest bats are hitting well.
Who knew? Also, when a Schwarber's hitting second, when Turner isn't making him get pitched around.
Yeah. What did you make of the rest of the offense aside from the two of them?
I think Marsh is in a little bit of a slump again. Hopefully, he just doesn't get too deep into it.
Yeah,
Stott looked better. Sosa looked pretty good.
yeah.
Crawford had some bloop hits, but making contact, that's all you want from him. So
One thing
uh,
that I'm noticing with Crawford, his batting stance looks a little different as far as the hand placement goes. It looks kind of similar to like Stott's changes that he had last year. Like his hands are a little bit lower down. Maybe that helps him like get ready to attack the ball a little bit more because he has a very slow swing. So it does seem like they're trying to speed up that swing at least a little bit.
yeah, we all knew that swing was not going to. That swing is so weird, and I don't know how. I mean, it's an indictment on our minor leagues system. How like everyone is always complaining about his batting stance, but we didn't try to really change it because it was just hitting. Stupid.
Yeah.
It's a terrible stance.
Yeah, I think people were so split on him, right? Like some people were saying like, "Oh, it's working for him." Like, if it's not
Yeah, I
broken,
guess. Yeah, yeah. I guess they were saying, let's see what happens if he hits it with it in the majors, then you have to worry about it. But clearly,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Well, my thing with it is, well, I'm gonna go just quickly back to the Mizorowski game. Is he was like swinging for the fences with that swing? I'm like, stop it.
yeah, I mean, that's not something he should be doing anyways. Like his job should be to hit the ball anywhere in play and try to have his speed work to his advantage, right? Like him trying
And
to
he's
hit the
not
ball
bunting
and be
enough.
he's absolutely somebody that should know how to bunt, right?
I think he does, but this something with this team, and just they don't bunt.
Yeah. I think that's just a modern baseball though, no?
I know, but like when they're not hitting, it's like, come on, fast guys bunt. Come on.
Yeah. No. Um that's true. Um I
So
think
wait, just quick thing though. Obviously, you know how I feel about the triple. What are your thoughts on the scoring
yeah,
for
so
Harper?
why don't you tell everybody your thoughts first?
Okay, so as everyone should know, Bryce Harper hit for the cycle, which is feels so weird that we've had like 3 cycles in 4 years after going like 20 years without one. Sorry, West Wilson.
True.
But basically, Harper did it in 5 innings, second fastest. The first is 4 innings, which is nuts. But Harper hit a ball into the gap, and they were up 11-1 at that point. So
Yeah.
he was saying fuck it and just running no matter what. And now he was about a quarter past second base when they hit the cutoff man, and then the cutoff man for the Mets threw it home. And then I'm seeing these dumb fans online saying, "Oh, it should have been this third on the throw." But there was two major things you be count on when you're scoring for baseball plays. One, he was past second base already when they hit the cutoff man, so that's significant. He wasn't at second base. He didn't stop running. He was running all the way. Those are two things you're supposed to take account when you're scoring for baseball. And three, you can't assume an out like that when it's not a force out. He was past the bat, he was almost halfway to third.
Sure.
So I don't think it would have been a slam dunk play. I mean, I think it makes a decent throw. He's out, but I don't think it's just outright like, oh, they hometown scoring. I think any normal scorer would have called that triple.
Yeah. I think that by the letter of the law, you're correct. Like that
Yeah,
should be a triple because he I mean very clearly did not hesitate. He might have been running harder than
yeah.
he has in his entire life. And the throw went to home. I think it's pretty inarguable that like a even half decent throw would have gotten Harper third
Oh,
base.
definitely,
Um,
definitely.
but they didn't throw to third, and because of the lack of hesitation, I'm pretty sure the letter of the law means that has to be a triple.
I found some rules because this guy on Reddit was arguing about it. Because like, he was arguing there's a threshold. Like, there's no threshold. Uh, if you go to section rule 2, section 14, definition fielder's choice, the term is used to account for following situations should be charged but no hit in such situations. Oh yeah, okay. Who elects to throw for attempted put out or retire an unassisted any runner or bat runner, thus permitting the advance of other runners. The scorer decides whether the ball is credited with a safe hit or no extra base hit in accordance with 922, 933. Uh, Scorers use the term in the following ways to indicate the advance of the runner who takes one or more bases when the fielder who handles his batted ball plays on a preceding runner. to indicate the advance of a runner while fielders trying to put out another runner, and to indicate the advance of a runner due to the defense's team's refusal to play on him, undefended steal. So, uh, yeah, I think like two, he didn't run because they were trying to get out another runner, and to indicate the advance of yeah, and they were yes, I think it's just section two, rule two, section 14, 213.1, 2. That's basically it.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was hilarious because yeah, a decent throw gets him, but if it's a bad throw, another thing, if it's a bad throw the third, they wouldn't rule that an error. I think that's another big thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. And honestly, I saw somebody give props to Kyle Schwarber for like keeping on running as hard as he was running because like he could have also messed up Harper's triple, could have messed up his cycle. Um, that's a good point to bring up. But how do you
It,
rank
it was just
like
it was just hysterical because if he was out, if they threw home and he was out, everyone would just laugh. No one would have cared. It was the one time Harper's dumb making was silly because 11-1, no one would have cared. He was gone for the cycle. No one would have minded.
right, right, and it was a blowout, right? Like the blowout is
Yeah,
like probably the most important part of it. How do you rank like the cycle compared to like the 2 home runs in an inning for Schwarber? Like which is more cool to you?
the cycle just because how rare it is for us. Like before JT in Arizona, it was David fucking Bell.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but I kind of think 2 home runs in an inning is actually a more impressive accomplishment because that's like
Yeah,
more of a
yeah.
it's individual, right? Like you have to hit a home run back to back at bats, but it's also a team accomplishment because to hit around to have the same person hit twice in 1 inning, it's like a pretty big team component. You have to be stringing an inning together, getting hits. To me, it's more of like a team and an individual thing, as well as also a luck component, right? Because if you're, hitting seventh in an inning, you're probably not going to get the chance to hit 2 home runs in an inning. So it's kind of like a combination of individual talent, team talent, and luck. All three of those kind of combined. And to me, a cycle is like a very individual thing. For that reason, while the cycle is incredible, I love cycles. They're so fun. I gotta think Schwarber's feat's the more impressive one.
And not to mention, Schwarber did break the record for most yards in an inning with multiple home runs.
Yeah, no, it was two blasts.
Yeah,
It was
900, like a little bit over 900 combined. The previous record was like 857 by Trumbo,
that's a blast from the past.
and would be the
But
show 2013 legend.
yeah, that's a good point. But I think like the other thing that people are talking a lot about, the offense, obviously people are high on, but how much I believe it being like a real change versus them just taking advantage of some really bad Mets pitching. Um, but what do you think about the pitching? I think that generally people feel pretty good, but curious how you feel about this, Jeremy.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned yet, but Painter was optioned after his disastrous start in Miami. Had to be done. Dolphins did score from him. He just blew up, and so yeah, I couldn't defend that anymore. he
Yeah,
he his confidence is shot. He was yeah he. But I think it's just funny. People are just like, oh, give it a bust. We should have traded him. Everyone we would trade for him last year sucks this year. I'd rather take the chances on fixing the 23-year-old hard throwing right hander.
I you were texting me about that. I don't think I said my opinion back to you, but
No,
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I logically agree with what you're saying, but I think that this is a
Stephen Kwan is
situation.
hitting 206.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Stephen Kwan would not have been a good person to trade Andrew Painter for, but I think what's missing is like the information advantage that the Phillies had, right? Like the Phillies knew last year, without a doubt, in my opinion, that Andrew Painter's fastball was deficient and nowhere close to where it was post Tommy John. I'm sure they also have data, doctors, uh, people that can tell them maybe how normal this is for where Painter is in his stage of the recovery. Information that we do not have as fans. But I tend to believe, given how Painter was performing in Double A, Triple A last year, that the Phillies had some kind of sign that something was not right with his recovery, and that was not necessarily going to be something that every team had, and not something that a physical would necessarily pick up because his arm is physically healthy. He just can't perform the way he used to with that arm. So, with that information disadvantage, if the Phillies really did know that, Painter was having problems and was not who he was before, I think it would have been logical to sell high on him and recoup as much value as you can.
Yeah, yeah. If they would have gotten a young right-handed bat for him, I would have been okay with it. Just you get over honestly, you could get over trades pretty fast. Make a play in the moment. Like six Los Angeles was traded for JT. That's basically the equivalent of trading Panther for JT,
Sure.
and then got over that pretty fast.
I mean, at the point we're at now, right? Obviously, Tommy John had, a big part to play in this. But we are 4 years removed from the last time that Andrew Painter was an effective minor league pitcher. Last year he had a 5.4 ERA in AAA. He was not great in the Arizona Fall League. Before that, obviously he missed 23, 24. So you're going back to 2022, which he was great in 2022. But you're going back very far to find the last time that he was effective. And I think that there's a massive reason to have real concern about his future.
Yeah, there is concern, but I think he can still be fixed. He needs
At,
better. He needs to be torn down and rebuilt. I think he can
by
be fixed.
rebuilt, do you mean like a different pitch mix?
No, mechanics. His command is terrible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know the big thing. I'm sure you've seen this too. Is he's falling over to his left side when he pitches. And that can contribute to him not getting the extension that he should be getting, which also that impacts his control because he's not coming from over top. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So, but even if he can't work with his fastball because he can't throw his off-speed stuff consistently for strikes.
yeah, yeah. And then the fastball just gets killed all of the time. So
Yeah,
it's a tough spot that Painter's in. I think that he would do well with a cutter or some kind of fastball that does not rely on the vertical break as much, which is really just a cutter. Um, because
find Cliff Fully in the mountains.
yeah, because who knows if he's going to be able to get that deuce vertical break back on his fastball. And if he can't get it
Yeah,
back on his fastball, he has to figure out some fastball he can throw that's not going to get shelled.
yeah,
And I,
yeah. Obviously, rest in sadly, if Halliday were alive, he'd be the perfect one to work with him.
yeah,
And that, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, but what's Chris Carpenter working these days? Similar situation. Yeah,
I, I'm bearish on Painter, but I think that there's a pretty far right tail, where I think there's still some probability that everything goes swimmingly with them trying to fix him, and he ends up being the all-star that we thought he was going to be. But I think my default base case, and you can speak to yours, is that he's a 4 to 5 starter until proven otherwise, in my opinion.
yeah. But
And
other
right
than
now,
him, pitching. Wait, sorry.
he's not even a 5 starter. Right now he's
No,
probably below average AAA starter.
yeah,
But go ahead.
yeah. Just to go back to the original question about the pitching, he also optioned Tanner Banks, which had to be done. Tanner Banks could not throw strikes. He was killing us. And the game that caused Painter to get optioned, I think we would have come back and won if Banks didn't come in and give another 4 runs because they had come back. They were down 2. I think we would have come back in later innings if Banks didn't just blow that up.
Yeah. And what do you make of the option of Banks?
It had to be done. If you can't throw strikes,
Yeah. Do you think he's done? Do you like, we've had like relievers in the past,
Maybe.
like
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he's a reliever. He could be great next year for someone else, and everything. But why DFA him if you don't have to? Just opt for him.
pretty crazy he had an option left considering he's like well into his 30s, but hey, we'll take it.
Yeah, you need 5 years before you can deny a option request assignment when you have them, and so he only has 3 years.
What do you
If
make
the, I mean,
of Kirkland?
Alvarado, Kirkring,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
let's be
I said
positive.
before, yeah, but Kirkring came in the eighth and and couldn't throw strikes. I I don't trust him in 8+ innings.
I actually am going to disagree. I think
I
I'm
hope I'm
at the
wrong.
point
I hope I'm wrong.
I'm at the point now where Kirkering has been good enough for long enough, and he doesn't have that same like anxious look on the mound that he's had in the past.
Yes, I
Um,
agree with that.
where I'm ready to say that I trust Ryan Kirkering. It took me this long after last October, um, but I'm back. I'm back, baby. Back like I never left. Um, but Alvarado, you were saying?
Alvarado, I think we would have won the first game against the Mets if Alvarado didn't blow that. It was really frustrating. Also, you and I both thought that Schwarber broke walk-off streak. He just missed that pitch. Ugh, so
Off the
sad.
bat, I thought he had it.
Yeah, worst case, I thought it would have been like a double down the line. He just run 05, got on top of it a little too much, and right out the outfielder.
What do you make of Alvarado's Savant page? Because it's quite red.
We've I know we've done this before.
Yeah,
It's not great. So is it worse now?
it's very red. It's like a
Oh yeah, no, yeah, no. It's very wet, red. It's just weird. Yeah, he's just not putting people away. He's getting like 2 outs and blowing up.
the thing that stands out to me. There's actually two things. Number one, like his walk rate is above league average, meaning he is better at avoiding walks than most of the league's pitchers, which surprises me. Um, and the other thing that stands out is that his ground ball rate
Yeah,
is very
that's the
bad.
problem. That's the problem. It could look back his previous years. His ground ball rate was really high. So even when he was walking guys and struggling, they weren't hitting out of the ballpark. But
Right.
now they're hitting out of the ballpark. That's the problem.
I look at like ground ball rate as like one of like the big factors that go into like the volatility of a relief pitcher, right? And like
Yeah,
if you're constantly having hitters like just shove the ball into the ground, you're inherently going to be more consistent. And with Alvarado,
yeah,
he has outings where he's great, but he also has outings where things fall apart, and that's probably because of the low ground ball rate.
yeah. And that's why with Kirkering, like last couple years and stuff, he was frustrating because ERA was decent, is because he wasn't giving up home runs. He was giving up bloops upon bloops upon bloops.
Yeah, yeah. Have we talked about Brad Keller yet? I think we've talked about Brad Keller.
No, we haven't. He's on the IL. He could be out a while for him strain.
I saw he said that this is something that he'd been feeling for a long time. I think going back like weeks, if not like a month.
What
Um,
is with these guys and doing that? Like, yeah,
do you think some of that is just like the players trying to save face, be like, "Oh, I'm not actually this bad. It's this is an excuse."
no, no. I think they're just. I mean, even I like I ow, my leg hurts and everything, but I'm not going to go to the doctor about it. But I'm not a professional athlete, whatever. So they're competitive. They don't want to be taken out. They think it's not a big deal. It's like, oh, a little tinge, whatever. Like I understand, like you're being tough about it, uh, but it's just so frustrating when like, especially when you have like a guaranteed deal for like how many years we give them, 2 or 3. Like,
2 years,
god
Brett
damn it,
Keller.
yeah. Just if you're hurt, go out. The most frustrating thing was with Arietta with us. He was hurt and was pitching through it.
Jake Arrieta feels like it was 20 years ago. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I hate pitchers that play through injury. Stupid.
Yeah. Um, I agree with you there. I did too much pitching through rotator cuff stuff, and then yeah, tore stuff with my shoulder, and now I probably will be in shoulder pain for the rest of my life. So yeah, not fun. Um, any other comments you have about like anything? I know we got through like a lot of the big topics. I think we're now kind of in like the random discussion point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on the podcast thread on the Discord, people please leave questions. I know we've been bad about bugging people. Vespozella says more Giles. Well, I asked him. He said no.
This is true. I like when we have like a lot of people on like the podcast. I feel like it's like
Oh, it's fun.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
gotta do more of these.
other thoughts. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, we were right on many things about baseball. One thing we're wrong about is Aaron Nola. But a lot of people are wrong about that. But Freddie Peralta, I love we were right about that.
Oh my god, you're
Yeah,
completely right. Freddie Peralta. I have like a an uncle that's like a big Mets fan, and he said like Freddie Peralta is like one of his all time least favorite Mets already, which to me is like crazy because it hasn't been like more than 16 starts, but his ERA now is close to 5.
yeah. Well, he got shelled for 10 runs against us in the Harper Cycle game.
Yeah, it was a
Is
pretty
yeah,
easy call to make, right? Like
yeah, like last year he ERA of 2.7, but his everything else matched his career. So the chances of him breaking out were lower.
right. Yeah. No, props to
And
us.
also,
It's okay to pat
pitching in
ourselves
New
on the back.
York is different. People still somehow still struggle underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I mean, if Freddie
And
Peralta
Bichette,
is like your, you know, 2, 3 starter is totally fine, right? Like I think that's perfectly acceptable.
well,
But I think,
he's what we hope Aaron Nola would be.
yeah, no, I think that's a good point.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the
So he's
Mets,
a and also a hilarious push. Like I loved hearing the boo like on the radio yesterday. Bichette being booed like crazy. He was hot coming into the series, and he got like one, maybe two hits.
yeah,
No, he had
yeah.
one hit. He had one hit. He went 1 for uh 12.
Um, Yeah, it's pretty crazy how many of the things that like the have fallen apart for the Mets. Like Hodai Senga as a rookie in 2023, he looked great. But over the last like year or so, he's completely fallen apart. He's been injured this year. He is pitching to a 9 ERA across the 24 innings that he has pitched in this year. You look at a lot of their prospects, former prospects, like Vientos, Brett Beatty, Ronnie Mauricio. These are guys that are maybe not all that good. Vientos is not playing all that much. Brett Beatty is not playing all that much. You look at other guys on their team like Bichette.
Yeah, but Brett Beatty's he's been up long enough where it's safe to call him a bust. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, um, he's 26 years old. You know, he was okay
He can
last
turn
year
around
though.
clearly, but as of right now, he's a bust.
Last year
So
was like a good year for him. He had a 3 WAR
a decent.
season
It would
last year,
yeah
110 OPS plus.
yeah the and yeah I mean David Peterson just struggling. Like he's terrible now. I thought he like I always remember him shoving against us, but apparently he has a 5.51 ERA against his career.
And if you're a lefty and the Phillies hit you well,
Yes.
then you need
Well,
to
except for Schwarber.
reevaluate.
Schwarber's like 1 for 26, 2 for 26 coming against him.
Yeah. But you have to reevaluate if you're a lefty and the Phillies show you, because
Yeah,
that should not be
yeah,
happening.
yeah. But I mean, Benj, I think is going to be a stud for them.
Yeah,
So
he sounds good.
he scares the crap out of me.
The next generation of Mets, they do seem pretty good. But like the other generation with Beatty and Vientos and Francisco Alvarez, who is just not very
No,
good.
no, Vientos is just a Phillies merchant. That's all he is now.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair. Nolan McLean is even having like a down year,
Yeah, but he's a rookie. It was impossible. Like the people were saying he was like a top 5 pitcher in baseball already after just last year. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, that wasn't realistic. Um, I don't know. Everything is falling apart for the Mets, which is like beautiful to see.
It's just hilarious how they uh don't fire Mendoza. Like, I don't know why they keep Mendoza still.
I don't understand it.
Also,
Like,
can we talk about how it was so crazy that it took us until like the end of June to play the Mets?
yeah, I mean, I am pro ballot schedule, but with that being said, they need to balance the ballot schedule more and have us not play like the Mets 2 series in 10 days and not play them for 3 months. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, like there are number two, like 1-2 rival with the Braves, and it's just, oh yeah, we're not going. Yeah, you'll see them in some. You'll see them at the beginning of summer. What?
Yeah. What's your opinion on the balance schedule in general? I actually don't think I know.
I don't hate it. I mean, it makes more sense with the other wild card. So if you're playing every one now instead of just 1-1, so that it makes if the divisions are less important. I just worry about what they're going to do. Like they're going to get there. Are they going to get rid of the AL, NL, do East West? Who knows?
Well, the underrated part of this is that they're probably going to be messing with the whole division soon, anyways. Once we have like
I know.
expansion in Nashville
I
and
know, I
Portland,
know. Just can you imagine a division of the Yankee? It'll be Yankees, Reds. If they do it based on region and they get rid of like AL, NL, it it would potentially be Red Sox, Yankees, Phillies, Mets, uh,
that would be
Orioles.
it. You wouldn't be able to have 5 team divisions.
Oh,
You still have 32
you're fine.
teams.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. And it will be Orioles, Nationals, Pirates. Like, I don't know.
It would be probably the four of us. It would be like Phillies, Mets, Yankees, Red Sox as like a
Oh
four
God,
team
no.
division.
No, but you need the Blue Jays. Yeah. So I think they need to stick with AL, NL just because of there's real everyone's regional is too fucked up.
But like
I know.
in principle, I agree with you. But like the
Sports aren't
DH
supposed to
is
be fair.
here.
They're fun. Sports are fun.
But like I know I am pro AL NL split, but like there is no difference anymore between the AL and the NL.
Yeah, which I hate. I want. And there needs to be the All Star game. I don't give a crap about anymore because they just play them. You see them all the time. Also, All Star games in general just useless with the modern media. You can see all the clips everywhere.
And you play everybody anyways, like it
Well,
was
yeah,
used to
but
be.
yeah, but even if we got rid of interleague play, like you don't need to wait till July to see uh Otani if you're like a Yankee fan. You just go online and watch Otani clips.
Yeah, no, that's true. Interleague play did used to feel special in a way that it just doesn't now.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, my dad always hated it, and I thought it was about well, but as I'm older, I definitely would like it more if it was the way it used to be. But I would rather just not have any of it. Like, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. All
It just
right.
feels weird playing people before the playoffs that have nothing that impact your playoff positioning still because you're playing them.
No, I agree with that. Um, cool. Um, anything else that you have for us today?
Who's going to be the number? What do you do with the number 5 starter? What's it going to be?
Uh, I mean, I would rather they like just honestly sign somebody, but like Alan Ronhell is fine. Um, I don't know. Anything's gonna be better than Painter. What about you?
Just I wish we assigned Walker Bueller. His fastball.
Yeah,
So well, this is a good thing to talk about though quickly. But Walker Bueller's fastball is back. It seems to be back. He's like 97.
it is true. I think he
So
said
hope
that like this is the most back he's felt since he got Tommy John.
yeah. So and Chad Durbin said it took him a while too. So Painter could just be one of those guys that takes a little bit longer. So
It's
Fingers crossed for
possible.
that. Uh,
You know,
so
you know what I
my
want to call out.
what?
So, um, we talked a lot in the offseason about like, hey, who can the Phillies sign to have as like a fifth, sixth starter? Um, do you remember the number one choice that I had?
No.
Martin Perez. Guess how Martin Perez is doing this year?
Uh,
He's pitching to a 2.78 ERA. That's all. That's all for the Braves across, a pretty decent sample size so far.
yeah,
I'm just saying, I think we know ball. I think we know ball.
yeah. So my prediction is it? Yeah, my prediction is we're going to get Robbie Ray from the Giants, and
That
it'll
would
be
make
terrible.
sense.
And
I
it would
mean,
be terrible. The guy averages 1.6 home runs pitching in San Francisco.
that's a good point. That's a good point. That is not ideal. That's actually a really good point. I think that changed my mind on it by itself.
Yeah, the guy is a fly ball pitcher, and he's given up 1+ home runs pitching in Arizona. Well, I mean that's I guess more fly ball, but the heat, the elevation, everything. But Blue Jays dome hit 1.5. Mariners big out the game 1.5. Not really a hitter's ballpark. So I could I if we give up anything decent for Robert Ray, I think it'll be a disaster.
Yeah, he's definitely taken a step back compared to last year. His overall numbers look okay, probably because
I
of
mean,
Ford
Pippa
Ballpark.
5. Yeah, I mean, he's going like I mean, he's going like 4 innings to like he's not doing great. So
Uh, Maybe I should drop him for my fantasy team. That's what this is telling me.
and then the Phillies get him, and then he does well. I like your nice jinx. Go for
Yeah.
first jinx.
Yeah. Hey, if that's what happens, I'll take it. But I think that's all that I have for today. Let's talk a little bit about the series that we have coming up. It's a 4-game set against the Nationals down at DC. Um, Nationals are a team that's a little bit tricky. They don't have much pitching, but they have one of
Can't
the
hit.
best offenses in the league, which is weird.
I think they no. I
Um,
think they have the best offense by runs scored.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we have TBD against Foster Griffin, who's by far like the best pitcher on the Nationals so far this year. We have Jesus Luzardo against Zach Littell, Aaron Nola against Miles Mikolas, and Chris Sanchez against Cade Cavalli. A rematch of the opening day pitching matchup that we had this year. So they'll probably lose today, but you gotta think that they have a real chance to take 3 out of 4, but even 2 out of 4, a split, perfectly acceptable, right?
Yeah. Do you? We're -4 on run differential. Can we get positive? And for can we?
They have fought so hard to get to this point of only being -4.
Yeah, and so like, oh, if you're like a casual fan, you say, oh wow, their offense sucks. But if you just look at the offense since 9 and 19, insane.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll reconvene after this series, and yeah, thank you so much for joining us today, Jeremy.
Yep. Let's go, Phils.
Let's go, Phil. Thank you everybody for listening. Talk to you all later. Have a good one.